this now recording goes into an app called Microsoft Stream, where
Yeah.
you can edit this video and you can transcript it. Hopefully, we're saying stuff that makes sense, so the computer will find it easier to turn it into transcript.
We have got a bit of Croydon going on, haven't we, in our accents? So that might be.
Absolutely.
I don't know if that's going to work.
Yeah.
But the people from Croydon will know, and that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Exactly. So go, Tom, introduce it.
So this is a first video, a first communication that came out of a conversation that Sheetal and I had. Sheetal, you're a chartered accountant.
Yep.
You're a practice owner. You have spent a number of years developing your practice in terms of technology. You're, from my experience, you're at the cutting edge really of a small practice and how you operate. I'm a business recovery guy. I'm a chartered accountant, Croydon District Society president for the ICAW. But basically, I've been advising business and financial difficulty throughout my career. And we're good friends. So we always get together and talk about our own businesses, because we are our own practice owners and we've got business partners, and we talk about our opportunities and challenges. But really, we also have worked together dealing with clients on both sides of the coin, both in terms of development and growth. And we sound that out. And at the same time, we've supported a few clients in really tough times. So kind of we know a lot about each other and we're friends, right? So
and you hit it on the nail. So we've supported the clients. We got together, we thought outside the box, and we supported clients. And right now, clients need to be supported. This is I've not seen anything like this. What's happened now?
It's wartime, isn't it? It's wartime.
Yeah, and there's so much uncertainty. And one of the things, and you said it, we talk a lot. We think outside the box. We plan. We come up with strategies. We understand each other. And with what's happened recently is, for instance, as a business, we're prepared for it. Yeah, operationally. Yeah, we're prepared for it. We sent our team home. We've got people set up everywhere. We're fully digital practice. We're business as usual. Yeah. But financially, we can do everything, but we're not going to get paid for 6 months because the clients are not going to get paid for 6 months.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, I need Tom's help. Yeah. And then we were talking, and actually everyone needs all our help. And like, what do we make out of this situation? What's happened? Yeah. Information has been coming out slowly. I think one of the issues is because it's been coming out slowly, people are reacting after the curve. And I think no one's actually making a hunch like, this is what's going to happen in a week's time. It's going to be shut down. So let's plan for the worst case scenario.
Yeah. I think that, do you know what, the parallel for me in business recovery is that, I've dealt with people who are heavily stressed, have not slept, don't know really what to do. They're making decisions under huge pressure. They don't always make the right decisions, but it's never really out of a bad intent. But usually that's against a backdrop of a pretty normal world. Like, you're the one person that is having a challenge, and we all know business is risky and challenging. The one thing that's massively different now is that this is very much a global human scenario, right? We are not what I can say is, when I'm speaking to people about this, they're suffering the same sort of emotional pressure that I get regularly. But the difference in terms of how I'm approaching it is, I can genuinely say is that we are all in the same boat.
I've just written that down. We're all in the same boat.
We're all in the same boat. And I don't care. And, I've had people say to me, good contacts, friends, I've reached out to a lot of business owners that are friends of mine. I've developed friendships with, we're in that group, aren't we? We've done it ourselves, and naturally we've encouraged others to do the same. But I'm fortunate. I've got a business partner and a network of professionals that I know like you, and I'm safe to talk to you about this sort of stuff in a free space. They're on their own. They would, they've had orders cancelled. They've had supply cancelled. I went online because our washing machine broke, right? Bad timing. I've got 4 young kids. Disaster. Flicked over to freezers, all sold. Out of stock. Every freezer on almost every website is sold. Really unnatural behavior, which then
we don't want to go. We don't want to talk about toilet rolls, but
but it's an extension of that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Um,
but this is, I mean, for instance, I think if you take a step back, what's happened? Yeah, like you said, there's a human, we're at war, yeah, and
yeah,
it's a human condition now, yeah.
yeah,
And I think if we take a step back, I think we've got to think like China took 3 months and it's
mhm,
now slowly opening its borders. But
mm.
China actually put in things in place 3 months ago. Yeah,
Aggressive, aggressively.
aggressively.
Yeah.
The way I look at it, every day we don't make that aggressive decision,
Mm.
it's going to cost us the economy another 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, it's exponential. The impact is exponential, and
Yeah, and I
yeah,
calculate, like speaking to people at NHS, we've got to be able to. I don't think anything's going to happen to the summer trade wise. Shops are going to open. It's that's the way I look at it, and we
yeah,
have
and
to plan.
I had the same conversation with two business hospitality, coffee shop,
Yeah,
home, a co-working space business,
yeah,
very successful, working really well, on the upward curve,
yeah,
right? You know,
yeah,
and but everything stopped, and they were doing events. Everything stopped. Another
yeah,
business spent, you know, £500,000 at the top end in the SME
yeah,
world,
yeah,
renovating and fitting a site. Everything stopped. But I have to say, the first thing that the first bit of advice I'm saying to them at the moment is,
yeah,
you know, we need to take a breath, right?
yeah,
And think about communication, right? The first point is safety for people, safety first. There's a reason why this is happening.
yeah,
Whatever anyone's judgment is, I cannot imagine we would ever have. I don't necessarily say it's a point of panic, but you know, we've got to take this seriously. The government would not be saying whether they're doing it right or wrong.
yeah,
That's first. They wouldn't be telling people to stay at home without
yeah,
good reason, right?
yeah,
And given this is an exponential crisis, it might appear to some that there isn't a problem, but theoretically, you've got to be telling people to stay home when there isn't as much of a problem. Otherwise, you're
yeah,
not stemming the problem down the line. Okay, so that's
yeah.
where we are.
So we don't
Uh,
want to spread it.
we don't
Absolutely.
want to,
Yeah,
yeah, we just want to suppress it, and I think everyone can see that. So
yeah,
fine. So let's just make the assumption that now for every business, and every business, we're in this
yeah,
pause scenario.
yeah,
Um, and if we make that assumption, and then you start communicating with creditors that are in the same boat, you know,
yeah,
the the lenders, especially some of the new emerging lenders in the
yeah,
market, are massively exposed to this. They've been supporting and championing small businesses.
yeah,
They're providing funding to them on the basis they're hoping to get it back. And they
yeah,
work on a failure rate, right? They work on a
yeah,
failure rate that's a
yeah,
percentage of their base. That's
yeah,
business.
yeah,
But you know, and invariably, you know how funders work. We
yeah,
specialize in this sector. They lend to
yeah,
someone, they talk to someone else, they become known in a sector.
yeah,
So they're not going to get paid
yeah,
because those businesses have had to shut. The
yeah,
landlord is not going to get paid
yeah,
because that business has had to shut, and the landlord doesn't really have the option to say, well, I'm going to pull the lease and
yeah,
give it to somebody else,
yeah.
right? Because there's no one
No,
else there.
yeah,
Even if a business has assets to sell to pay the people who owed money, which is where I, you know, that's the world I'm
yeah,
in to some extent, or assuming no cash flow, no
yeah.
trading, who am I going to sell it to,
Yeah, who's going to buy it?
right?
What want to
And
do with it? Yeah, I'm going to
well,
get a shop and close it.
exactly. And let's
Yeah,
say a funder is then aggressive in
yeah,
trying to recover their debt because there's a personal guarantee or security of a home,
yeah,
which are all given in different scenarios.
yeah,
Well, even if they did that, who are they going to sell it to, and what will it do to their reputation?
yeah,
I think we should, at the minute, just take a breath and try and understand the person that we're dealing with, understand their position,
yeah,
and be free to communicate with them. And I think we just need to say this isn't about anything other than just telling people where we're all at
yeah,
whilst this evolves. I don't think anyone knows how they're going to react in a week or 2 weeks' time,
yeah.
but it's important that we talk to one another.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not like, I mean, we've been in situations where we've had floods. We can go to insurance company. We kind of can go 3 months down the line. We'll be up and running again. We'll
Yeah,
get support. We don't know what's going to happen. So I think if we just take a step back and you're like, yeah, we need to just pause, take a breath.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And you mentioned the word yesterday when we were talking, go into a hold position.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Now, what does that mean? This is quick. I was thinking about it. A quick, like 5-step plan for small businesses that are in
yeah.
panic.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah,
First,
yeah,
first, first of all, coronavirus checklist policy. Because, like you said, there's a virus out there. We don't want to be the reasons why it spread. Yeah, because
absolutely,
the way that
absolutely.
NHS are looking at it is they estimate about 70% of the population is going to get it, and 70,000 old and vulnerable people, even young,
Mm,
vulnerable, will die of it. Yeah.
yeah,
So one thing we can do is to stop that from happening is self-isolate. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we sent a checklist out to all our clients, just getting back, what's the coronavirus policy checklist? Yeah, what you should do then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Second thing, yeah, because we don't want spread, is we've got to realize there's going to be no income.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a business now, making that decision.
Or certainly incredibly restricted. Incredibly
Yeah.
restricted.
So I've got a debtors book because my clients pay over 90 days or 60.
Fair enough.
I didn't say that, 30 days. Yeah. So the first thing
120
is,
days.
yeah, no one heard that. I don't do that kind of credit. Yeah. But my thing is, okay, why don't we then, first thing we have to do is ring up the insurance company. Yeah. Are we covered? Is our debtors book covered? What are loss of earnings? Just get some security. Yeah. Because when we get these policies online, we don't know. But simple things like we're going to be start making these decisions. Yeah. Okay. On paying our suppliers, even our employees. First of all, go to the insurance company, find out what you're covered for. I know it's changing for them. Yeah. But even the basics, in the service industry, when you do have a debtors book, are your debtors covered?
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
and do you know on the insurance point, the conversation I had this
Yeah.
morning, again,
Yeah.
this is real time. Have
Yeah.
you checked your policy? Yeah, we called up our broker. Our broker said you're not covered. I mean,
Yeah.
and when they talked to the broker, he said you're just not covered. We can't cope with it. But
Yeah.
even if that's the case, it's clarity. So
You
just be
can make
clear.
decisions now based on that. Yeah.
Yeah,
You don't want to be making decisions based on I'm going to have this insurance and loss of earnings and that. Because
absolutely.
the next step is that hold position. So what does that mean? Means that, okay, all that money in your bank, just keep it on hold, take a step back. Yeah,
Mm.
again, we sent a few links to our clients. Like there's helplines out there. Companies House has got one. You know what? Just delay your filing date.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
click that link, delay
Who
your
who
filing date.
who frankly is going to care about compliance failure
Yeah, yeah.
at the moment? Cash is king.
Cash
Cash
is
is
king.
pretty.
HMRC now, if you've got VAT to pay in the next few days, payroll to pay, or corporation tax, give them a call. Can't pay it.
Yeah,
Yeah, if I
just
pay you, I
explain to
can't pay
them.
my staff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
explain the scenario. I think creditors will afford you
yeah,
space and time, especially the government. You know,
yeah,
and actually the banks. At the end of the day, if there's no money in the bank, frankly, if you're at the
yeah,
end of your overdraft,
yeah,
you can't pay. And
yeah,
let's just be honest about it. It is what it
yeah.
is.
And then, like you said, go to the bank, your funding,
Mm.
your cash flow. Because what's happening is we got working capital. Let's say we're trying to retain our staff. Yeah.
Hmm.
Because the one thing we don't want is to get out of this alive, start again, and have to start employing people again. The one thing we want to keep our talent. Yeah.
Mm.
So we might need to fund our cash flow, working capital. Yeah. One of the ways we fund it is through income. We're
Hmm.
not going to have any income. Let's go to the bank, sit down, what they can do. I know there's been talk with these government loans and grants, but again, the banks have already started. I don't know about the new lenders like funding circles, but I think NatWest, Barclays, they've all now started, even Metro, I think, helping clients with, okay, we can help you getting these grants and loans. Yeah. Yeah.
But you're right. But the harsh reality is, in the SME world,
Yeah.
a lot of businesses don't have a lot of slack in the system,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Their slack is governed by the slack in their funding, maybe.
Yeah.
But you know, if you have bad debt service or bad and delayed debts, that can have a
Mm-hmm.
huge impact on cash flow.
Yeah.
And I think, let's be honest, business has been challenging for some time
Yeah.
for a lot of people. We have seen some
Absolutely.
successes, but globally we've had the shockwave of Brexit for some
Yeah.
businesses, the uncertainty surrounding that. So whilst we were finally getting some clarity, and I think finally getting some traction,
Yeah.
this is I don't think businesses have had a lot of businesses won't have the capacity to prepare for months
Yeah.
and months without income
Yeah. Yeah.
and say business news. So, but clarity is important. So find out what's available.
Yeah.
That's a moving target, though. The finance stuff, the government's made announcements.
Yeah.
If you look at the website for that
Yeah.
additional loan, well, the first thing to remember, it's a loan,
Yeah.
right? So when you're committing to this, you're committing to further debt.
Further debt. Yeah.
So that
And it's conditions. Like
there's
if you start
yeah,
making people redundant, maybe you don't apply for the loan. You,
but
yeah,
so one of the things that were actually quite a sensible director made, he sent his staff home and said, I don't know, I can pay you next month, but I don't know,
yeah,
because it's fluid. The staff actually really understand that. At the
yeah,
same time, a lot of the staff potentially aren't earning a great deal.
yeah,
There are going to be benefits available to them.
yeah,
We all know that's nowhere
yeah,
near as good as the income from a job, but that's the way
yeah,
our economy works. It promotes people to work and the like.
yeah,
but they're also going to get some protection from landlords, which is
Yeah,
there. I think there's a moral protection. I think people will get
absolutely.
round to a moral position where we just need to
Absolutely.
give people
Everyone
time.
is on the same boat. I had so I just got my son's doing his GCSEs,
Hmm.
and they've all been cancelled.
Hmm.
And he's been going to a good school that I've been paying for. So
Hmm. Hmm.
what you know what? Everyone's on the same boat. There's no
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's in the same boat. You know what? He enjoyed his 5 years. Yeah. What can we
Yeah.
do? Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the moral ground. We have to like realize everyone is in that same boat. Yeah.
But right, so you're absolutely right. So going back, we've now looked at the
Yeah.
you've looked at take stock. So to check what cover you have, what
Yeah.
protection you have, limit further payments out
Yeah.
consistently. Like
Speak to
what?
HMRC. Yeah.
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 So speak to HMRC, but also look at the payments you have going out,
Yeah.
and really focus on what is absolutely critical.
Yeah.
Like so in reality, you don't want to miss an insurance payment, do
Yeah.
you? Right.
Yeah.
So if you have assets on a site, you have premises, and you're in the holding pattern,
Yeah.
and there's a fire or
Yeah.
something goes wrong, you need to be
Yeah.
covered. So make sure
Yeah.
you really focus on those things.
Yeah.
Take stock, get your numbers up to date. You mentioned.
Very important. So all these loans, grants, everyone you need that is there to support you, you need your number. They're going to ask for the numbers. If your numbers are not up to date, you're in trouble.
Exactly right, and if I'm being really on this is us having a conversation about our
Yeah.
evolving experience. I've got two brothers that are in the banking world. One of
Yeah.
them's in the credit world. They're finding their feet through this.
Yeah.
Okay, their advice is evolving. They're watching the government like we are,
Yeah. Yeah.
and even the government are saying details to follow, details
Yeah. Yeah.
subject to
Yeah. Yeah.
negotiation.
Yeah.
Watch out for terms and conditions. But the reality is, banks will be minded to support those businesses that have been good in the past,
Yeah.
that have shown good track record, have not
Yeah.
missed a beat, and also potentially that they're exposed on.
Yeah.
Because a bank is, they might not provide. I think they'll be reluctant to provide further lending without a government-backed
Yeah.
guarantee or
Yeah.
good security. That's the reality.
Yeah.
But if they've got an exposure to an existing business that's shown a good track record, I suspect
Yeah.
they'll give them time. So,
Absolutely.
and if they don't, I have to say, word will get out. Yeah,
Yeah.
people will know,
Yeah.
because if that's a policy they're applying to one customer, they'll be applying it to all,
Yeah.
and I think people understand. But banks are going to have a hard time.
Yeah. Yeah. And actually, you just made some for people new at this, these new startups. It's like if I wanted to get an Ocado shop done, yeah, if I'm not in a customer already, if I'm an existing customer, they'll service me. So even a lot of these new startups that
Mm,
don't have the full facilities with the banks,
yeah,
they're going to find it really, really hard. There's one thing we missed actually is trying to get their debts in, if possible. They do,
yeah,
yeah, there is cash out there. And one of the things we've done internally in our firm was actually on Monday, look, let's take a step back. Let's call in as much of our debts as we can. Be supportive to the client, yeah, but go out there
but
before.
your debts are really already there because you've been massively supportive, but the
Yeah, yeah,
circumstances change. I absolutely, I think you've got to stem further expenditure and
yeah,
try and pull in income where that income is available.
yeah.
um, I, I think also when doing that though, I think you've got to be pragmatic. You're probably
You
not
have
going
to
to
be
get it all.
pragmatic. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And again, that's where the morality, you still support them.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you can support your overs and resources, because I don't want to support my clients if I can't pay my team, let's say, because they're both as important. So I need to get the balance of supporting my team that's going to
Mm.
service the client and supporting the client
So the one
through
thing
this
that
difficult
really
time.
we're all of that surrounds, right, is cash flow management. Okay.
Yep.
And so one of the things, as you know, as an accountant, I've trained as an accountant, and you
Mm,
speak to accountants about, everyone's really focused on functional sort of,
yep.
do your cash flow forecast, do your profit forecast,
Yep.
do your business plan. Let's be honest, right?
Yep.
What is the business plan looking like is
Yep.
completely out the window.
Yeah.
I think the
Yeah.
first thing is assume the delay before a restart, and even the restart strategy when you're
Yeah.
doing your numbers, I would suggest has to be assuming a restart that's very gradual,
Yeah.
maybe quite gentle in nature, and maybe
Yeah.
you'll have to pull back. So also when you're considering supporting your business, and this is, let's say, once you've stabilized the position, you've got some
Yeah.
clarity, when you're thinking about, okay, what to do next, there will be loans available. There
Yeah.
will be to
Yeah.
some. Should you take those loans?
Yeah.
Should you sign up to a guarantee? A government-backed guarantee, there'll be a gap,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah. Yeah.
and we've seen that before. And so if I've got a bit of equity in my home,
Yeah.
and a business is going well, and I'm being asked now to support that effective period of trade,
Yeah.
or debt's rolling up, and I'm
Yeah.
going to invest more money.
Yeah.
The real risk is, are you investing more money in a successful opportunity, or
Yeah.
potentially could you be throwing good money after bad? I'm not saying there's a right or wrong now, but you
But
need to take
that's
that decision calmly.
exactly, and that's based on what you were saying is sitting down and doing that forecast. Worst case scenario, you know your business, then do what the numbers tell you. Because sometimes we're blinded that no, it doesn't matter about the numbers and I can do X, Y, and Z. Actually, it's time to restock.
Yeah,
Look at the
yeah.
numbers, yeah. Because looking at that numbers, can you imagine being an auditor having to test a going concern right now?
Well,
It's
yeah, well, and
everything
absolutely.
goes out the window.
So
Yeah,
the conversation I had this morning, I said, look, there
yeah,
is no right or wrong answer at the moment.
yeah, yeah.
Stay calm. We've got a
Mm,
couple of weeks. You've got a couple of weeks. And look, and he said, well, if I miss a payment, I've been told by this lender,
yeah,
and I'm not going to name lenders at the moment, but I
yeah,
think we'll get to that point where these discussions start, so
yeah,
there'll be some clarity. But they said, we're going to give you a 3-month payment holiday. We
yeah,
don't know what we're doing, but what we're going to expect is in 3 months' time, all the money to be paid, that three
yeah,
months to be paid.
yeah,
And we're going to make a note on your credit record for your
yeah,
business, right? So suddenly the director's panicking and he's saying, look, I'm worried about that. And I'm not saying panic is the wrong word, concerned about that,
yeah,
because
yeah,
he's never missed a beat and he's a good customer.
yeah,
And I sat there and I said, well, look, if you can't afford to pay it, that's how it is. Just,
yeah,
it is what it is. Take stock, do all the things that we've discussed.
yeah,
In 2 weeks' time, sit down, have a cup of tea, and
yeah,
then we can move to stage two, right?
yeah,
Stage two is going, well, what is left? What is viable? We are in a storm at the minute. We're all hunkered down.
yeah,
When we come out and out the shelter and we
yeah,
look around, what will we see?
yeah,
That's what we're going to see in a business world. And we can imagine scenarios. It's going to be slow to start,
yeah,
but we can make this. If your credit history is damaged, if there's
yeah,
a black mark, you are not going to be alone.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
not going to be alone, are you?
No, no,
And
no,
who's going to
absolutely.
care? Who's going to care
Yeah,
in 2 years' time when
yeah,
they go, I looked at your credit history. Around then, there was you made a mistake.
yeah,
uh, Everyone knows. I think it'll just be accepted,
yeah, 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 yeah. And so, okay, let's summarize this. Actually, right, we've just had this conversation on the current climate, yeah, and we've just picked up what the challenges are going to be. And I think what we should do going forward is do a few more of these, yeah, but
Yeah.
focus on them challenges like HMRC, let's funding, banks,
Well, I tell
edtech,
you what,
employment.
we've got
Yeah,
an amazing network of
yeah,
colleagues, friends, professionals that we know. We've
yeah,
got the privilege of it. Why don't we get a person in on these calls, right? And
yeah,
try and get some input and just discuss an issue and what they know. And I'll be honest with you, I'm just going to be me. I'm just going to be human.
yeah,
I'm going to make mistakes through this.
yeah,
I'm going to say things that probably won't turn out to be true, but I think we just need to talk, right? And
absolutely.
and and
Yeah, yeah.
basically, Sheetal, we're having fun doing this. This is what we do anyway.
Well, I
So
mean, fine, and hopefully the people listening and watching this, they'll just take a step back,
yeah.
yeah, and get out of that world that they're in now and just de-stress and focus. If we can help them do that, that'd be really good.
Yeah, and talking, when I say having fun, me and you, we have always built around a scenario where
Yeah,
we see problems and
yeah,
we like to try and think of a practical solution.
yeah,
That's the
yeah,
thing. I have to
absolutely.
say, I'm still at home sitting here.
Yeah,
We're isolating. I'm
yeah,
fortunate,
yeah,
like you, our business is set up for home working.
yeah,
We're having challenges because
yeah,
people adjust to it. But
yeah,
I worry about that. But this is a nice space where I go, okay, how can we provide some of our skills and knowledge just
yeah,
to give some guidance to people?
yeah, and
And
get our team, the people we know, involved in that. Yeah,
awesome.
brilliant.
That's fantastic.
Okay,
Enjoyed it.
thanks speaking to you. Yeah,
All
take
right.
care, Tom.
See
Cool.
you soon. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.